Can you pour a little bit of your mud water in here?
Sure. All right. Mixing it up. Look at this. Let me do it like this. Oh my god.
You're homeless.
Yep.
You're doing every possible drug,
Yeah.
narcotic.
Yep.
You're drinking.
Yep.
You're selling.
Yep.
You're stealing.
Yep.
Am I leaving anything out? Were you ever in jail?
Prison.
Moises,
Yeah.
if there's an addict, an active addict watching this right now that doesn't know how to heal themselves, what would you say to them? Can you please share with me the worst day of your life?
Give me a second, because it's like... I grabbed a machete, I put it to his throat, and I threatened to kill him. And he said, go ahead, I've been waiting for this day.
All right, bro, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast, where the conversations are raw, real, and relatable. I am your big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch, Shaun. And joining me today is Moises Rivera.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Moises, welcome to our home.
Thank you. It is a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you here. I think it's a big deal to welcome someone into my home, so I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
I usually don't start out these episodes with a question like I'm about to ask you.
Let's go.
Before I ask that question, this show is all about inspiring others, motivating others through our conversation today. You've been through some crap,
Yep.
good. You've been through some bad. You've lived quite a few life experiences in the 10 minutes that we've talked in our lifetime.
Let's go.
Can you please share with me the worst day of your life?
I can. Okay. Give me a second, because it's like... I'm getting a lot of worst days all at once right now. I'm just like...
Okay.
So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna zone in to like Christ real quick and just be like, God, just let me give the right answer right now. There's no wrong or right answer, but like, let me give something that will inspire someone, that will, heal them, give them hope, give them peace and comfort if they've ever been through anything like this. And this is just what coming to mind. So, all right. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate it. Just want to give you all the honor, Lord. Amen. Okay, so one of the worst days of my life, at the time I was doing methamphetamines, and me and my dad were living in a one-bed hotel room, and I was sleeping on the floor. So I was in a sleeping bag on the floor, and my dad's on the bed, and we're drinking, right? And he's not using what I'm using. He's using something else. And I really don't know what he was using at the time. I just know that he probably was. Plus, he was a vicious alcoholic like I was at the time. And he had said something to me. I had asked him. I said, why did you and Mom split up? And he said, because I caught your mom cheating on me. Right? Mind you, I had talked to my mom. I asked the same question, right? I said, why did you and Dad split up? Right? And she said, because he was a deadbeat drug addict. I was like, okay, cool. So now I got like almost a whole story of everything. Because like, I can't, they both did, they're humans. They both did what they did, and it was toxic, and they had to split, right? So my dad just kept running his mouth and talking, and like me at the time, I had a temper, right? Like rage, temper, plus drugs and alcohol. Like that ain't,
Not a good combination.
Not even a little bit. So we're smoking weed now, right? He's still talking crap and drinking. I'm like drunk, don't want to drink anymore. Like my buzz, my high is going away, and I'm about to leave to go cop, right, to go get some more drugs, and he said, "You don't remember what happened that night?" Like in some insidious way, like just looked at me and said, "You don't remember what happened that night?" I said, "No, I really don't remember what happened that night. Like, you can tell me? You can give me more details?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you." He's like, "I beat your mom in front of you, almost to death. And I left."
Wow. How old are you at this point?
I'm like 5, dude. 5
You
or
were
6.
5?
Like 5 or 6 years old, dude.
On methamphetamines?
No. I was like 17. No.
I was like, this
I was
just
like
took a huge
17.
turn.
I was like, I think I was 18.
So
I think I had just turned 18.
Okay.
So 17,
so
18.
the violence occurred when you were 5.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
having this conversation at age 17.
Right. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. It took a long time for me, even when I had left the house, right? I was like kicked out, but I left at the same time because it was like a whole ordeal. Like, my stepdad was drinking at the time, and my mom was like enabling, and it was just like really wild how my whole life I've always just been in situations. Plus, mind you, I've always been really rebellious. Like, I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. I'm not going to go to bed when you tell me to go to bed. I'm not going to do my homework. I'm not going to get A's and B's like you want me to get A's and B's. Like, you know, I'll scrape by and get C's until I drop out. Like, that's the attitude that I had at the time. And that's like basically what happened, right? Until like I went and I got into like the streets and stuff like that. But like, not to go on a tangent or anything, but my dad was living in the same town, and I thought that he was like living in Puerto Rico or New York or Lancaster or something, right? But he was always living in the same town, right? So I find this out at like the age of 10 or 11. I saw a kid that I knew that my dad worked with his dad. And I was like, in school, we were getting off the bus, and I was like, "Hey, yo, like, what's your dad doing now?" He was just like, "Oh, what's up, man? My dad still makes t-shirts." And I was like, "Is that right?" He's like, "Yeah, and your dad still works for my dad." I'm like, "So he's in Lakeland." Okay.
And you had no idea.
Cool. No, I didn't. You know, I was like, "All right, cool." You know, fast forward, you know, I'm not living with my mom's anymore. I'll just say it like that. A lot of crazy stuff happened. And I'm not living there anymore. Now I'm like, have an apartment, working at Louis Mack Steakhouse in Lakeland, Florida. And I had a girlfriend at the time. And I wasn't really good with women either. Like, I wasn't faithful at the time. Like, I couldn't be faithful. I couldn't be faithful to myself. I couldn't really be faithful to anybody else. I didn't know what love was. At the time, I thought sex was love. Like, that's what I thought at that age. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I lost that apartment in 2 weeks. And that's the first time I was, like, hopping from couch to couch. Right? Wow. And I was doing and selling cocaine and ecstasy at this job. And I was like, this is life. Like, this is what life's gonna be like for me. Like, I'm just, you know, you have this thing, because like the music industry and everything, like, it's crazy, man. Like, the way everything played out at the time, this was when, like, you know, Young Money was big, and like Drake and Rick Ross, and you know what I mean? Like, the cell phone scale, like, this was at that time. And I just thought that, like, you know, I had a buddy in the hood. He was like recording mixtapes and stuff. So like, I would sell ecstasy, he would sell crack. Like, I'd, you know, get cocaine, sell cocaine. Like, I knew all like the rich kids, like, and it all spiraled because I started using more and more and more and more and drinking more and more to the point to where I was like homeless. in and out of jail, in and out of rehabs. And like, I thought that was rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't rock bottom though.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you right there because I'm like, okay, let me unpack this. I'm gonna go back to that question that I asked you to lead this off.
Oh yeah.
Worst day of your life. And I'm sorry to come in so hot.
Mm-hmm.
I've never asked that question to any guest yet in over 30 episodes.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that answer.
I
Okay.
left a little bit out from that.
I'm sure.
I'll get to it though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So your dad says, "Oh, you don't remember what happened?"
Mm-hmm.
When you did find out what he had done to your mom, like, how did you react?
I grabbed a machete, I put it to his throat, and I threatened to kill him. And he said, "Go ahead. I've been waiting for this day." In Spanish. And I just was like about to do it. And then I started crying and I left. And then at that point, I didn't see my dad again for like a couple of years. And that was the night that I started smoking crack, like heavy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. This is deep, dude. Okay. I want to go back in time a little bit. Something obviously got you to this point in life where you're using with your father in a hotel room, holding a machete to his throat, and he's telling you all these terrible things that he like. There's a chain of events here that I want to get to the bottom of.
Right.
Okay. Bet you guys didn't see that coming. Now, look, the reason I asked you that wasn't like a loaded question, but there's viewers that are watching this that could probably think of the worst day of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a comparison game.
Right.
But
Right.
I'd be, if it's worse than that, I want to know about it. If you're,
He wants to know.
I'm curious.
He wants to know.
I mean, that's pretty bad, man.
He's got the bourbon though.
I do.
Like
I'm gonna
top shelf bourbon.
Reel you in.
You know, beautiful atmosphere, chemistry. Because this man connects with every single person that sits in this chair.
I do.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
But I mean, again, it's to put things into perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
People will probably thinking, oh, the day I wrecked my car or the day that I lost my job. Terrible things, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they are.
But it can always be worse, most likely.
It can.
That's why I asked you that question. Okay, that was for you guys. So you can kind of level set. Okay. Back to your story, Moises. Whew. We're going to keep your teenage years on hold for a little while. Okay.
All right.
There's a lot going on there. I can
yeah.
see that.
It was wild.
I want to start way back before that because I want to see what created that moment in time where you're holding a machete to your dad's throat. What built that story to get to that point? That's what I want to know. So,
Yeah.
where did you grow up? Like, where are you from originally?
So I was born in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, and I grew up in my abuela Gina's house. So on my mother's side of the family, in her house, and also the other half of the time would have been at my father's house, you know, Abuelita Lucy. And as a kid, so like Puerto Rico as a kid was just like jungle paradise living. Cause like there was no cell phones, like people aren't driving, like not everybody has a car, but almost everybody had a horse, like, you know, like
It's not as civilized as the States.
It's not. It's just like, it's like almost third world, but not, right? And it's like, well, when I was a kid, that's what it was like. It's like way crazy cool now. It's like way better. It's way more modernized, and like technology's like done amazing things for the island. But like, so my childhood in Puerto Rico was like, I had a beautiful childhood, right? But you asked me what in my childhood could have catapulted me into doing, because
I'm hearing you, and you said you had a good childhood.
I mean, I did like 99% of it, but there's like this 1%, this one thing that like really hurt me, and I didn't know that I was hurt until I grew up, and my brother told me, like, this is what actually happened that day, right? And me and my brother were playing baseball out in a field, and a guy was riding a horse, and he was like feeding it out in a pasture because it's an abandoned baseball diamond, right? So we're out there and we're playing, and we're kids, right? And he walks up to us and he's like, do you guys want to ride a horse? And we were like, heck yeah, like everyone has a horse. We want to ride a horse. My brother knew how to ride a horse, this, that, and the third. And the guy was like, all right, cool, then you got to play a game with us, right? And so I played the game. My brother didn't, right? And I found out from my brother telling me, and then it was just like a secret me and my brother had for a long time, until my brother got drunk at a Christmas party. It was like when we were living in my mom's and my stepdad's house in Florida, and he was like, that's why da, 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 and you stayed and I left, right? And that was like the day me and my brother almost killed each other.
So what was this game? I'm guessing it wasn't baseball.
No, it was pedophilia. He was a pedophile, and I was molested as a kid. Yeah.
So at the time, you didn't know what was happening?
No. I was like, this is like one of my first memories, which is crazy. I have two memories that are like childhood memories. One is a little black dog and the bees next door, right? There was like a huge abandoned house, and there was a little black dog. It was my dad's, and we called him Horse because I guess he got hit and his spine was messed up. So he was like, you know how when a cat raises her back and he would have to jump around to like walk. So we called him Caballito. And there was at the same time, there was a place full of honey, like a bee infestation, and like they made all this crazy honey. I'm talking about people were leaving there. My dad left with like 3 huge jars of like honey like that, and other people left with honey too. But my dad's crazy. He even helped them get all that honey out of there too, with like a tank top on, dude. It was like like wild, you know.
That's not proper protective equipment.
Right. He was walking by faith. Okay.
We'll go with that.
But yeah. All right. So it's that memory, which is a beautiful memory, right? The dog and the honey, and then this memory are my earliest memories of when I came online, I would say, you know, as a child that you can remember back. It's like the moment you came online. Yeah.
So you're living with those two distinct memories and not knowing how to process.
Well, at first I thought they were both good memories. And then, you know, when I'm like older, like 11, 13, like now it's one of them's a secret, and it's nasty, and it's looked down, and it's crazy, and it's like not my fault, but it's kind of twisted. I feel like it is my fault, right? Because I didn't follow my brother, right? I rode the horse.
So you won the game.
Whatever.
I'm just saying,
Like
as a child,
I guess.
Oh my gosh.
I guess.
So when you find this out
Oh, man.
at 13, that what actually happened in the extremes of the situation,
Yeah.
how did you react?
Rebellious. Like right around 16, like I dropped out of high school. Broke up with my high school sweetheart because I wasn't staying faithful. And I just, I remember having a conversation with her. I rode my bike over to her house. It was like 10 miles, right? Riding a bike 10 miles in Florida in the middle of the night. It's like 2:30 in the morning or something. I meet her out back and she's like, it's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your life? Like, you can't keep a job. Like, you're on all these drugs. Like, I want to help you. Like, I would ask my dad to let you live here, but like, you're high all the time. I can't help. Like, I can't ask him if you're not gonna like stop what you're doing, right? And like, graduate high school, right? Like,
Check a box.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do something, anything but what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing. Like, this is the only thing I know that I could put in this hole, right? And I don't know how deep this hole is. All I know is that sometimes I can put some of this stuff in it, and I'm okay for a little bit, right? It's actually a black hole, and you can't fill it.
Yeah, little did you know.
Little did I know.
So you're coping with traumas through drugs, partying,
Yeah.
sleeping around.
Yep.
You're getting that dopamine hit and kind of blinding yourself to reality as often as you can,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
When does that spiral out of control? You said it's a black hole. When did you
No.
fall into those depths and you were just like, where am I? How did I get here?
Okay, so by the age of 23, I was homeless to the point of I was sleeping outside of a gas station one night, right? Because the drug house wouldn't let me in because I robbed a couple of the people that were coming to go cop from there. So he was like, I'm not letting you back in. Like, go away. I don't want to do it like that, like the whole whatever. Tonight you can't come back over here. I was like, all right, cool. And I owed money to everywhere else. So I was like, all right, cool. So I just sleep right here at this gas station where there's a little bit of light, and if something should happen, I can see. I'll be able to defend myself with whatever I had on me at the time. But I woke up and my dad was starting to get clean, right, at the time. And he walked by me like he didn't even know me, didn't even see me. He just walked right into the store and walked out. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. I can't do this anymore. I have to go. I can't do this in front of my dad anymore. Like, a shame and guilt hit me. I was like, is my dad gonna walk by me every single day? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I have to go now. So I sweet talked another person that was an addict, a female, into going to Lancaster with me and starting over and getting clean. And it took 3 weeks, but she was like, all right, cool. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Let's just go, right? And neither of us knew that we would take ourselves with us, right? You can't run from your problems. You have to face them. So we just ran away and we made it to DC. And in DC, she had picked up some other dudes. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go and get lunch somewhere. And we had a puppy with us. It was actually her dog. But he turned in to be my dog because I left with the dog. So we're in DC. And I part ways with her. The dog made it into a civilized home, happy home with a good, clean woman, right? And I lived in DC. I got a job for a little bit as a dishwasher. And then I don't remember what had happened. I think I was late and then I got fired. And after I got fired, I was like, you know what? I'll just do what the guys at the bus stop do. I'll just sell K2. Like, well, there's nothing wrong with selling K2, right? I'll just sell some K2. You know, I'm not doing it. Like, I barely drink. Like, that's not my twist. You know, none of that is. That was the day that more crazy stuff started happening. Like, it's my whole life from like 17 to about 2019, complete chaos.
So, okay. In those 12 years, you're homeless,
Yep.
you're doing every possible drug,
Yeah.
narcotic,
Yep.
you're drinking,
Yep.
you're selling,
Yep.
you're stealing.
Yep.
Am I leaving anything out? Were you ever in jail?
Prison.
Like
Prison.
like the real thing?
Like, yeah, I landed in prison. I actually, I went to Camp Hill, right? After I did like 9 months in the castles, what they call it in Lancaster. There's like a jail. The county jail is called the Castle. It's off King Street. Yeah, I did some time there. There was a point when I was living in Lancaster that I would only be free for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'd be right back on like a 90-day, 60-day, right? And this is like a revolving door.
I want to ask you a question about prison, jail. Is there a point where you feel safe when you're in there?
There is. There is.
Why? Where does that safety come from?
You build relationships with like-minded people, right? And not everybody in prison, and I would have to say like 95% of the men that are in prison, they just want to go home, right? And they want to go home by any means necessary. You know what I mean? Like, so if you put them in a situation where it's like, I don't have to fight, right? I can just do the little work that they pay me, 3 cents an hour or whatever, and work out and like, card, spade, like, like eat, sleep, wake up, do it all over again. Like, they have TVs, watch your TV,
Stay
like
under the radar
under the radar,
and
right?
just do your time and go home.
Do your time and go home, right? And then there's the other aspect of like, if something happens that's like serious, like now you want to live to be able to possibly go home, and then by any means necessary. So if like, because there's not like, sometimes you can't get out of a fight no matter how hard you try. You can apologize a million times, the other person wants you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, put your boots on, meet me in the shower. You have to go.
Can't talk your way out of it.
You have to go.
Yeah.
Period. You have to go. Whether you're going in there to lose or to win, right? You got to go. Luckily, I never got into no crap. So I never had to strap fighting while I was in prison. And the jail, like the regular jails, the counties, that's different. Like, they always fight in those. Everybody always fights in those. Just to like, I don't know. It's like a unspoken thing. People just fight. It's like this is how it is. In the counties, it's worse.
Is it to express your dominance and kind of
I guess
give yourself a status?
I mean, if you fight one time, you normally just, that's the one time you fight, and you don't ever really fight again unless you're like a real problem, and then you're like always fighting to like stay at the top or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if it's like gang related and stuff like that, and people sometimes, let's say you did somebody dirty on the street, right? And you both are in jail now at the same time, on the same block. Either somebody's leaving the block or you guys are fighting. There's no way out of that unless the other person's like, it's squashed, right? If the person that got crossed says, bro, it's just squashed, right? You got that. I'm cool, right?
Yeah. I got more questions about prison. What are things that stand out about being in prison? What are some of the crazy things that you've seen, experienced? What's a day like, a night like? Just take me through it.
It's hard to find that group of like people that are like, we're gonna fight if something happens. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not talking about like no gang stuff, right? This isn't no gang stuff.
Like an alliance,
right? Like we're like-minded dudes.
Yeah.
We're under the radar, right? We're gonna cook some food every night with each other, and we're gonna just talk about the streets, or we're gonna talk about our kids, or we're gonna talk about like whatever. We're just gonna do this time, and we're gonna bid. It's called bidding, right? And we're just gonna sit here. We're just gonna bid and pass this time, right? Luckily, I could bid with Puerto Ricans. I could bid with black people. You know, I could bid with white people. I could bid with anybody. We can bid.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know what it is. Like, I guess it's because like people would always tell me, like, even in prisons, like Moises, you're crazy, bro. And I have to tell him it's the way that I laugh. My entire life, my laugh, like just like laughing. I find something funny, I'm like, I laugh, right? I'm not like gonna make myself laugh right now, but
we've done it a few
yeah,
times.
I probably have. Like, you'll see it in the segues and stuff. That's not it. Like, it's crazier than that. Like, my actual belly laugh is wild. But like, yeah. And so like, people be like, you know what I mean? Some people hate it, some people love it, but like, you know, it's always the right people that love it, right? They're just like, let's go bid, man. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna laugh, you're gonna laugh. We're gonna all probably keep laughing because your laugh's just funny, and like, and we think you're crazy, but you're like a good dude. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, right? And yeah. So like, you know, and there's like many different ways to like cook food in prison. Like in prison, like there's like stingers. There's like, you can make like bunk cakes. There's like all kinds of stuff to just like learn how to do, and just like, because you don't have a stove and you don't have an oven, and just like so many things. And like, I got lucky. I went to Laurel Highlands in Somerset, so like that prison was like, it was fun, but it was dreadful, right? Because like, when am I gonna get out of here, right? Because like, you know, they tell you to go to bed. You gotta go to bed at this time. Lights are out at this time. So like, it's like 8 o'clock, right? And you're in Somerset, and it's like stars are already out, right? And like, I'm smoking a cigarette, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I gonna do when I get out of here? Because I didn't do any drugs while I was in prison. That was the longest stint in my entire life that I could remember that I didn't do any drugs at all.
So sobered you up.
I got clean.
Yeah.
I got clean. I even did like this program. I had to do it twice because I got smart with one of the things, and you know, then they were like, all right, we're just gonna start you over. I forget what the program called. What the program was called. It was like a drug and alcohol program in prison. But yeah, so
getting out scared you.
Yes, actually.
That's kind of why I asked you that question.
Yeah.
There's some stability in prison, right? You have a place to sleep. You have 3 meals a day. You can get your exercise in. You can socialize, play cards, shoot the shit. Like,
I got a guitar eventually. Like, I was cool.
So yeah,
You
it
know?
becomes home. I'm not saying prison's fun, but compared to where you were at, sleeping
mean,
outside of a gas station,
You like prison sucks, but it doesn't have to suck.
got it.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, it sucks. You're away from family, like whatever. But if done properly, right? If you do your time properly, you're going to meet some good people. You're going to laugh. You're going to live. You know, you'll go home. And even if you don't go home, like, you're going to live, you're going to laugh. Like, you know, there's going to be some camaraderie there. And, yeah, like, it's absolutely terrible because, like, family's very important, you know, and it's important to every man. I don't care what you say. It's important to every single man. It's like, it's in your heart. It's in your blood. You came from a family, and, you know, this God made you to breed and make family, whether it's friends or whether it's blood. Like, we are all like tribe type people. It's always been like that since we came from the dust. Like, that's how it's always been. So, like, that's how it is in prison.
Yeah.
It's just a different monster than out here in the real world,
Yep.
right? Because out here in the real world, you don't really need family, and you don't really need friends. But, like, when you seclude yourself, like, I found, like, it gets real bad, you know, in the spirit, in the mind, and in the soul.
Yeah, you start to die.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you get clean,
Yeah.
you get out of prison,
Yeah.
which you were terrified to get out because you didn't know what you were going to do, because everything that you were used to was going to be different now. So what
Yeah.
happens when you get out?
I was sober for, I think, 2 weeks.
Was it because you got in with the wrong crowd?
Nope. It was because I didn't have any hope. I got out of prison. I was homeless. Right? I'm in a convict. Like, there's not really too much opportunity that I could see at the time. Like, I didn't see a light. I didn't see no opportunity at the time. Like, I didn't know or have a relationship with Jesus at the time. Like, I didn't have a relationship with people. I didn't know how to make relationships. All I knew is how to lie, steal, swindle, cheat at the time. Like, and it took 2 weeks of, like, out in the world type solitary confinement, right? And running into old people that you used to get high with and all that. And then you're just like, you're homeless out here with them, but you're not getting high, right? And you're like, God, how do they do homelessness? At that point, I was thinking, that's where my mind was at. I was just like, how am I going to be out here with no family help, right? Homeless. It's starting to get cold again, right? And I'm like, winter with or without heroin? Like,
That's the point you're at, but making that decision.
seriously,
Wow.
that's where I was at.
Wow.
I was like, am I going to freeze and feel it? And feel not having any friends and being outside in the cold? And am I going to freeze and possibly freeze to death if I don't find or break in somewhere, right? Like a hotel? Like,
So
that's where I was at.
That's the crossroads you're at.
That's where I was at.
Dang.
Because nobody wanted to hire me. And even if they did hire me, like, how long am I going to be able to keep that job for? You know? Because as soon as I see money at the time, like, I don't, like, for the longest, I never saw money as, like, money. Anytime I ever had money, large amount, small amount, I was like, this is not even a money. This isn't a bill. This is a fix.
Yeah.
This is going
Right in my blood.
right in me.
Yeah.
And there was no other way to perceive it. Like, that's how blind I was.
So money had zero value to you.
The only value that it had is that it could get me out of me.
Wow.
Through another thing, which
Sure.
wasn't actually money. So I could care less about the money, but I needed to get the money to get what I cared about, right?
Wow.
Or wanted. Because it gets to the point where you're like, I really hate this. And I really hate myself. And I just want to die. I just want to die, man. I remember having conversations with myself, like all shot out, and just being like, I hope that this shot of heroin mixed with meth, mixed with crack is the one tonight that just I don't wake up from.
Let's put you out of your misery.
Right? And I woke up every time. There was only one time that I really almost died. And that was when the fentanyl hit in all of PA. And somebody gave me a free bag, and it was a fentanyl bag. And I think I was dead for like 15 minutes. The guy's house who I was at, he gave me Narcan. He did chest compressions and gave me air. The police got there. They gave me 4 more Narcans, chest compressions. The paramedics get there. They're out of Narcans now at this point, and they're like, we can't do anything else. Like, he's done. Like, they're about to take me out of the house, right? They're about to like pick me up, to put me on something, take me out of the house. And out of nowhere, I open up my eyes and I'm like, and I breathe and I try to get up because there's cops around me. Like, I'm like, police. I'm like, drug house, hi, instant, like, run, right? Yeah. So I'm like trying to run, and the cop just like jumps on me and puts I scared him, is what happened. Like, now I know it really happened. Like, he saw somebody dead come back to life. Somebody that was purple breathing come back to life, right? And I scared him. So like, I can't be mad at him for jumping on top of me and putting his knee on my chest and like holding me down. But then they took me to the hospital, and like I get to the hospital, they give me a whole bunch of water and like, you know, like an IV for water and everything. And I remember that walk back to a friend's house. And I was like, I don't know why, but I was thinking about my mom and my dad. And I was like, I don't have any way to like even contact my dad. And maybe I could find a way to contact my mom through like Facebook or something, right? But I remember thinking like, how am I going to tell them that I died? My parents. How am I going to tell my parents that I actually died tonight? Like, died.
Yeah.
And like came back. Like, was dead and like came back. How do I tell them that?
Were you afraid of disappointing them?
Yeah. Not just disappointing them, but like, what if I had died? Like, I just kept thinking in my head, I was just like, what if I did have died? What if I wasn't on this walk to my buddy's house? Yeah. Like, because I had one friend in Lancaster that didn't do any drugs.
And that's whose house you were heading to?
Yeah. Right? And at the same time, I was like, should I tell him that I'm knocking on his door at 6 o'clock in the morning because I just left the hospital because I died last night? Like, do I burden him with that? Because he's a good dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. How do you bring it up at that conversation?
Like, how do you like? Yeah. And I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything. And I never went back to that house again where I was in the living room and I was dead for like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Like, whew. But yeah, it was crazy.
I'm going to ask you another question, but
yeah.
What are you drinking in there, man?
Mud water. Right here.
Mud water.
I'm not a spokesperson for mud water. I brought it so that you know, you could try it. But I did bring it just because the one thing that this has done for me is I don't drink a whole bunch of coffee anymore So like my crazy sporadic jitters, ADD type symptoms from drinking coffee are like basically gone now, mellowed out a little bit more. But the best thing that this has done is I would only take one poop a day, you know, but now I'm taking two and a half, and the bloating after eating is not happening as much. And I've been drinking this for I don't know 2 3 weeks now.
You're the first person that's
So it's
ever
like-
talked about their bowel movements.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Hey, sometimes
My
you
man.
just gotta be honest and open.
Now, typically
It
I
helps.
would
It helps.
I would pour some bourbon here.
Yeah.
But being that you are sober, I want to honor your
Ugh.
sobriety. I'm not going to pour bourbon, but can you pour a little bit of your mud water in here?
Sure. Mixing it up like this. Do it like this.
Oh my god.
Drink this mud. Drink this mud water. There you go.
Okay. What?
Cheers.
Here, wait. I'm going to get this in camera. This is what this looks like.
Mud water. It's not good?
Shot this?
No, just sip on it.
Is this a sipper?
Just sip on. You just sip on that. Just enjoy it. It's not that bad. I dolled it up for you.
It's warm.
Yeah. It's supposed to be hot. I like it piping hot, actually. It's the best. Drink it hot.
It's actually not bad.
I'm trying to tell you, it's not mud. It's like cordyceps. It's like, lion's mane, cordyceps.
It leaves quite the film on the glass, though.
Chaga, reishi, cinnamon, turmeric. Like it's got
I
like
taste the cinnamon.
I know that's like, and it's the good kind of cinnamon because there's two different kinds of cinnamons, and I don't know which one's the good one, but I know the good one's in this.
I thought there was only one cinnamon.
Yep.
This is fascinating.
It's just good. It's healthy.
Cordyceps
Mushrooms,
as opposed to triceps and biceps.
I guess.
Wow. Okay. Another
Yeah.
first.
Yep.
This episode
Yep.
sponsored by Mudwater.
Get you some dirt.
Wouldn't that be funny if they reach out to me and say, "Hey, will you sponsor this on your podcast?" I would
Yeah.
do it. This isn't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, of course. They'd probably pay you. They'd be like, we'll give you some money.
That's not bad.
It's a healthy drink.
Yeah,
It's better than coffee.
I dig it.
It's not bad.
No pun intended with the dig in the mud. Boom, boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Question about prison. I was watching another podcast a while back, and they were interviewing a corrections officer.
Yeah.
The interviewer asked him, what types of correcting are they doing in prison? And the CO was like, correcting? No one's correcting anything in prison. What's the point of prison if when you get out, you're really no better of a person than when you went in?
There wouldn't be any prisons left for the monopoly on the money that they're making because mainly all of the prisons are actually owned by someone just like you and me, another free man. It's not like the government owns the prisons. Like these are all rich.
It's how they make money.
Yeah. It's just another money thing,
Are there any
Control.
success stories that you know of a prisoner getting out of jail and living a better life? I mean, you are now. It took a long time.
My dad went to prison. He's doing really
doing
good
good?
right now, I went to prison. I'm doing really good right now. I know.
But that prison didn't make you better, though.
No.
Prison wasn't like, oh, no, I'm not coming
No.
back here again, so I'm going to
No.
straighten myself out.
No.
That's what I mean.
No. That's not what it was.
You got to find another path.
I did find another path.
Okay.
When I was searching, I decided, okay, you know what? I might as well tell this judge. This was after prison. This was the last time I was in a county jail, which was after prison. Like I went to prison, got out, got high, went back to jail a couple more times, but the last time I was in jail, I was like, you know what? Let me do what this judge's telling me to do this time. Every other time I've said, F you, I'm going to do what I want to do until I die, right? Rebellion. This time I was like, you know what? I'm actually tired now. I'm really sick and really tired, and there's a possibility that there might be something wrong with me, more than what I can even fathom and reveal to my own self right now, or even agree, or like, I can't see it. I can't see how sick I am, but maybe this judge can. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do what he says. So I went to rehab. And this time I went to rehab, it wasn't like just rehab to get out of jail, to leave rehab to go get high. It was like, I'm going to rehab, I'm gonna do everything they tell me to do. All my counselors, like everybody, I'm gonna do everything that I can do to try to be a better person and maybe figure out what society's all about, right? And so I did that, and I got out, and they were like, you know what? We don't think you should go back to Lancaster, because most people, when they go back to what they know, they don't make it, right? Sure. They go back to what they know. I said, so what's the plan? What's the idea? I'm here, I'm listening. Like, I'm finally listening. I'm like able to sit down. This was like day 29, 30 at the rehab. And my counselor said, well, you can go to Beaver, Washington County, which is right next to Beaver, or you can go to Pittsburgh. And I was like, all right, like, which one has the better program? She laid out 3 different programs, and I don't remember what the other ones were, but I remember that one was the Salvation Army, right? And I was like, okay, now, out of these programs, which one's the longest one? And the Salvation Army was the longest one. I said, okay, cool. I want to do the hardest one then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're ready.
Yeah. So I went to the Salvation Army. But I only stayed in the Salvation Army for 3 weeks.
How long was the program supposed to be?
You could stay in there for as long as you want. You know? Normally it's like 2 or 3 years, 4 years. Like, they have like different levels and stuff. But I was like getting into the recovery aspect. Like, really meeting people and like going to meetings and stuff. And they were like, you know, you could go to a recovery house, halfway house. You get drug tested. And like, I was on probation, and I was just like, all right, cool. And like, to take a drug at that time, it was like die and go back to prison. So it was one of those two. So I was like, I can't do that. Like, I had like a fear now built up. Like, I just absolutely cannot pick up anything. And out of fear, I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I just can't. I absolutely cannot pick anything up. Like, I'm either going to die in Pittsburgh alone, or I'm going to be back in prison again or in jail again. And I might not make it out in the second time, right?
Wow.
So the Salvation Army, and from the Salvation Army, one of my counselors at White Deer Run, he was like, I can put you in a halfway house. So I went to a halfway house, and that's when I met Pat Price. That's when I, just started. He's like, I'm going to give you 3 days to find a job, and I'm going to give you to the end of the month to have some money for me. Right? I found a job in 2 days. Because when I was living at Salvation Army, they let me walk around on Carson Street, and I met Sang, which was the part owner of Nakama. And I was playing my guitar outside of Nakama on Carson.
No shit.
And Sang walks outside, and he was like, I've never heard those songs. Are those original songs? I was like, yeah. He was like, here, man, here's $15. I was like, I don't want your money, because I knew if I take that $15, I'm going to go and get high. And you know what I said to him? I said, I don't want your $15, but if you sit down and let me play you a song, that would mean a lot more to me. That's what I said to him. And he sat down, and he heard one of my original songs. And it's like all the stuff I wrote was just like a break your heart type of like stuff, right? And he was just like, dude, that was amazing. I really love that. Really touched me. Do you want anything to eat? I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to help you. He kept saying that. I want to help you. You know, I was like, yeah, I'll take some. Sure. Like, he's like, have you ever had sushi? I was like, I've had sushi. He's like, have you ever eaten that here in Nakama? I was like, no, I'm new. He's like, where do you live at? I was just like right down the street. He's like, I was like, all right, cool. I didn't tell him it was like the Salvation Army because like, you know,
You were vibing. You don't want to.
I didn't look like I lived at the Salvation Army. I was like dressing nice, like young, good looking young man with talent on a bench that doesn't want money, just time. 5 minutes max. Listen to the song, like it, not. See you later, brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? Went in, got something to eat. He asked me if I had a job. I said no. He said, why not? And I was just like, right now I'm just, you know, I'm in transitional housing, and I didn't say the Salvation Army, and I was just letting him know like I wouldn't be able to hold one right now, right? Plus I was working for the Salvation Army every single day because they make you work, which was good for me because I was just like, I'm going to do everything that I can because everybody's really old here and they're like beat up, but like I can carry as much weight as I can. And that literally almost broke me, like for real, because if you want to work, they'll put you to work big time. But yeah, and then fast forward, I go to Pat Price's recovery house on the north side of Pittsburgh, and I meet north side people, and it's great. They're crazy. And I love it because I'm crazy too. Got along with everybody, man. You know me up there. And Sang gave me a job, man. Sang was like,
Thank you, Sang.
Dude, thank you. Like, he knows because, like, I still kind of keep in touch with him here and there. Like, I wish my finances, right, would have been in line because he was selling a house for like, he was like, Moses, for you, I'll sell you this house for $175,000. That house right now is going for like $400,000.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was just like, I'm gonna move, right? I'm done with Pittsburgh right now. That chapter of my life's over. And I was just like, and I could understand. A lot of stuff happened, and yeah. But anyways, yeah, Sang was one of my first lifelines, and I truly believe that it was like God working through him. His heart, his kindness, his goodness, right? Because like God is love, and if you have kindness of your heart, that's like a fruit, you know, and like God can work through that fruit because that comes from him.
Isn't that crazy? Like the steps that led you to that point. So you're in and out of all the bad things.
Yeah.
You're in the Salvation Army.
Yep.
You pick up your guitar, walking down East Carson, sit down on a bench, start playing, and that music drew him to you, right? It's just like, it's so crazy
It's wild.
how everything just leads to a moment
That changes everything.
that changes everything.
Just changes everything. So everybody remembers when COVID hit, right? So right before COVID hit, Sang was like, all right, you're busting tables on Southside, but I want you to come learn to roll sushi at McGee's Women's Hospital at the Nakama, behind the gift shop at McGee's Women's Hospital.
They have sushi at McGee.
They have sushi. They got hibachi. And they also have, it's like they make the hibachi in the back, but they give you a hibachi bowl so you can get a hibachi bowl. And I don't know, but I think that they're doing poke bowls too. So if you're ever like around the area, you want a good poke bowl or hibachi bowl or good sushi, Nakama at McGee's Women's Hospital. Straight up.
Babe, date night. We're going to the hospital.
You have a baby, right? The wife is like, hasn't been able to eat sushi. Dude, go down in Nakama as soon as after she has a baby, come back up, bring her up some sushi, be like, surprise, honey, I brought you the sushi you couldn't eat. Like, boom, like, dude, I did it twice. I have 2 kids, you know, and I was blessed. You know, they won't take my money.
Really?
His son runs it now, right? And they won't take my money. Like, my money's no good there. I go there and I get sushi and hibachi, and I'm like, I have to like put the money like
You have to hide it, sneak it in somewhere.
to shove it in their one of their pockets or something. Like I'll like, you know, like the first time I was like, all right, they're not gonna take it, fine. But the second time I had my kid, I was just like, you're gonna take this $40. You're gonna take it.
Hide it in the seaweed.
No, I think I just left it on the counter, and I walked very quickly. And he was like, "Thank you, Moses. Love you, man." You know, just like good people, man. Just like good-hearted people, like paying it forward, doing like amazing, awesome things for people, being of service. My story, my testimony, like I'm talking to people, and I'm just like, everywhere I go, I'm just like, now I'm in service. Right. And, you know, AA and NA taught me how to like be in that service mindset to like help people, help the next person, help as many people as you can. Right. But like, there was a moment, and that's why I brought this cup. This is a gift from Amplify Church on 5th Avenue. Pastor Jason and Jack was on stage that day. So it's kind of wild that Jack was just here.
This is a full circle moment,
right?
man.
I remember when I was about to be on the worship team, or about to be trying out for the worship team, I went to the back and I was sitting with Jack, and I was like, "Yo, Jack, what's up, man?" And he was like, "Oh, you can't be back here." I was like, "Well, why not? Like, I'm just talking to you, right?" He was like, "No, but you can't be back here. Let's go over here real quick." And I was like, "That's fine." I was like, "Yo, but grab that guitar because I want to show you something," right? So I'm like playing him one of my songs, right? Not the same one I played for Sang, but like just another different song. And I'm playing it for him, and I did a chord, and he was just like, "Man, I put that chord in a lot of my music. That's crazy, and like that sounds great, man." He's like, "You should be on the worship team." And I was just like, "Of course, I'd love to. I would love to be on the worship team. I'm going to start trying out to do it," right? This was before I knew what that would intend, which was a lot of death to the old me, more dying to self, like real dying, like selfishness, deep-rooted selfishness, all kinds of stuff. And I went on a date with my wife. That wasn't my wife at the time. She was just a girl that I met in the rooms in NA. She saw a post on Facebook. My friend took me to a Christmas thing at another church, and I posted their worship, right? And I posted it because I was making fun of it. Right?
So you hadn't been saved at this point?
No, I was lost. But she said, "Hey, where's that church at? I really like it." And I said, "Wow, you're really beautiful, and I'm going to change the post and make it like look like how I like it," right? And because I want you now. And you showed interest, and you're very beautiful. I'm coming after you. Right? That's how I lived. You know, even in sobriety, like the mindset was still there. I'm going to try to get what I want. I know this isn't going to kill me. It's not drugs, right? Just female. We talk on the phone. She invites me to church. I go to the morning service. People are worshiping. And I'm just like my hands down, right? And I see her with her hands up and just like smiling and just like praising the Lord, worshiping, right? Like giving it all to Jesus. And I'm just like, all right, I only have one choice, right? I got to put my hands up and I got to worship, and I have to learn to enjoy this, right? Even if I don't want to right now. And as soon as I put my hands up to start worshiping, something happened, dude. Like, it became intimate, like one-on-one. It's just me and God. Like, she didn't even exist anymore. I wasn't there for her anymore. Something changed. As soon as I raised my hands, I felt my heart change, my heart posture change, even though I raised my hands for all the wrong reasons. So I surrendered for all the wrong reasons, but I still surrendered.
Yeah.
And when I surrendered, I felt him for the first time. Like, when the service was over and I heard it, you know, like hearing comes by faith and faith comes by the word of God, you know. Faith comes by hearing and hearing by the word of God. And I didn't know that back then, but that's what happened. I got hope. I got faith. I got filled. And she was like, what do you want to go do? You want to go get sushi? I said, yeah, but let me go to the front desk. They said that they have a gift and I can get connected. So this is the gift. And I got connected. There's a woman of God at that front desk. I asked her if she needed any help. She said, yes, we need help. And this is like Fifth Avenue, right? It's like ghetto in some areas, right? And people got to park cars and stuff. Well, I'm from the ghetto and I'm from the hood and I'm like been through so much. Like I'll stand on any corner and flag people. I'll stand on any corner and flag people in, dude. Yeah. I didn't care. I was talking to people like that were out there up to no good. Like, hey, do you know Jesus? From the day one that I experienced this in worship, I was like,
you're all in.
Do you know who he is? Yeah. Like, do you want to come to this church? Because, like, I believe that you'll feel what I felt and it can change your life. Like, I don't know how long you've been stuck out here in the streets, but I've been there, right? And yes, I had to jump through a whole bunch of hoops to get myself out of it, out of my own strength, right? That I didn't know I had, that someone saw in me that pushed me to do it, you know? And I made it here. But this is as far as I was going without him. He wasn't going to let me get any further without him. And then he showed up for me and something happened. I started serving, like my heart grew to like, it's a different level of service. This is like a sacrificial serving people. This isn't just like, okay, we're gonna talk on the phone and, you know, we're gonna whatever. No, this is like, can I help you with anything at all? Whatever it is, I am here to help, and I'm gonna stay here to help, and we're gonna do this life thing together because I'm gonna love you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to love you.
That's beautiful, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a different level, right? Like,
so how many years ago did you get this cup?
I think like 2, 3 now.
So not that long ago.
Nope, not that long ago at all. It's crazy.
Yeah.
3 years, my whole life has completely changed.
So you were born 3 years ago.
Married, I'm telling you. Like, I'm 34. I look back now and I'm like, I see Christ in everything now. Man, there were some dark alleys I was walking through that I should have been dead. I got jumped. Like, I should have been dead that night. Like, I had to go to the emergency room. Like, I was in a concussion. Like, you know, like, I was talking funny. Like, I had a big knot on the back of my head. Like, you know, it was crazy. I could have died then. You know, I could have died from all the overdoses. I could have died, like, all this stuff. Like, and now I'm just, like, grateful and thankful for all of it. I'm so grateful and thankful. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Like, I am alive. Like, I'm alive now in you. And I lived all of that for like a reason and a purpose. And like, I'm free, like free indeed type of free, right? Like this don't bother me anymore, man. Like, you could have drank tonight. I love that you honor and respected me. I do, because like, that's genuinely love. That is a brotherly love trying to like thing. Like, God's word says, don't do anything that'll cause your brother to stumble. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to be the one that...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But like this has no power over me anymore. Like none of it does. Like I'm free and I know not to. And that's just part of just being obedient to like who I am and who he is in me that makes me who I am, the better me, right? The new living me, the
Yeah.
born again me. And it's really not religion, man. Everybody's like, you're religious. It's a religious thing. It's not. It's a relationship, and it's intimacy, and it's love, and it's honesty, and it's brutal obedience sometimes, right? And it's like selflessness, and it's humbly humidity,
Yeah,
right?
humility,
Like,
yeah.
humbling
Yeah.
yourself, and
Yeah.
like and like service, at all times. Service to my children, service to my wife, service to you, service to the anyone that's either behind the counter or I'm behind on the other side of the counter. If I'm, like I'm always trying to honor, and we have this thing at Grace Life, our church, where we honor, we say we honor up, we honor down, we honor all around, right? So if we're like serving or helping out our leaders above us, we honor them. If it's like we're serving anyone that's coming into the church, right, we're honoring them, right, the down, and then all around, if it's like me and you are serving people together, we're going to honor each other while we're doing that, right?
Yeah.
Together. And that's like, I feel like that's missing in the world. Honoring each other.
Yeah.
Like we were created and given value, unspeakable value. Like, I believe we're God's children, and if he's a king and he's the King of Kings, then you're a king, I'm a king.
Yeah.
Let's treat each other like kings, man. Let's live this life to the maximum capacity.
Yeah.
Of like honor and love and compassion and kindness, greatness, respect. Like those are the things that like Christ has revealed to me that are like characters of a kingly lifestyle, right? Because he didn't come here to make a religion. As a matter of fact, he's told everybody that was in religion, like, you guys are serpents, man. You're like, you rob from the widows and you lead people astray. Right? Like, you're not out here doing anything. Like, I'm going to heal the sick, give sight back to the blind. I came to give you life and life more abundantly. Right? And it starts right here and right here. In your heart and in your mind. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
The furthest distance in the entire world is from the mind to the heart. That is the furthest distance.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I talked to you on the phone the other day to introduce myself because we had never spoken before.
Right.
It's like, hey, we should probably chat for a couple minutes before we sit down for
Let's go.
an hour and a half. And as I'm on the phone with you, you actually interrupted me. You're like, hold on, bro.
Yeah.
And you said a prayer over someone behind you in line and you paid for their...
She was a server, actually.
Okay.
Me and my buddy TJ, he's another worship leader at my church. I forgot my keys out in Somerset, right? It was 15 minutes away from the prison I was at. I was going out there. I was like, oh, man. Oh, and I asked about it while I was out there working the day before. I was like, how far away is Laurel Highlands from here? He was like, it's like 15 minutes that way. I was just like, dude, would you believe that I was, and I'm like talking to him, and that person, I was telling him about God. And I was like, dude, can you believe like how my life's changed, And then I went and sat down and ate my food. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
It's just like a...
Yeah. Yeah. like I stubbed my toe last weekend. Like, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, this is wild. So, yeah, she came to the table, young lady. And she knew and knew of. Right? Like, sometimes when you Jesus, but you don't like have a relationship with him, right? You just know of him. Like, you've heard Jesus walked on water, Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, so you know of him, but you don't know him yet. And that's where she was at in her walk. And that is a beautiful place to be because I was there, and that's when it all started getting real good. I started
And you
getting-
sensed it?
yeah, yeah. I was just like, can I pray for you? You know, I don't. Sometimes I just tell people, hey, I'm gonna pray for you real quick. Do you know Jesus? But now I'm like to the point where I don't even ask people if they know Jesus. I'm just like, you know, if I'm eating at a restaurant, I'm gonna be extremely kind. I'm gonna tip very well, even if I don't have it. Like, I used to be a server. I know that's what they live on. I'm gonna do cash most of the time because, you know, they tax your tips, and I just believe that the tax, what's happening with the tax, it's not really fair for all of us. You tax everything. Like, we went to war over 2 cent tax. Like,
So
he's
yeah,
still
you
king.
prayed over that young lady
Yeah.
that came to your table, and
Yep.
think I heard you ask if she had kids, and she said no because you said, well, when you do, I pray for your children, and
Yep.
blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and do you remember what I said?
You said, wow, I'm so happy that I got to be a part of that.
That's exactly what I said.
That's exactly what you said. I told my wife. That's why I remember it so clearly. I was like, he was excited to be a part of that. Like, this is going to be awesome. Like, let's go.
I mean, listen, who wouldn't want to be part of something that positive? I don't care if you believe or not.
Yeah.
It's the act of kindness
Yeah.
that got me,
Yeah.
because I feel like I'm like that.
Yeah.
I try to go above and beyond every
Mhm.
chance I get.
Yeah.
And to be, yeah, I mean, it's just like, oh my God, like we're brothers, right? Like
Yeah.
we're already connected. Like
Yep.
as soon as I heard that,
Yep.
religious aspect aside,
Throw religion in the trash.
it's just that kindness.
Just throw it in the trash. If you get to know him, you'll know him as king,
Yeah.
and you won't know him as anything else other than king, friend, brother, lover, like father, family, like kingdom.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible, the scriptures are about a king, his kingdom, and his family,
Yeah.
which are his children. That's what it's really about. And if you take the time to look at it like that through the kingdom mindset, right, and not what religion, what man has done to it, you look at it like that, you will see it for what it really is. You will see the kingdom, and you will see the fruit, which is kindness, peace, love. You know, like
Yeah.
those are the fruit of the spirit. Because you that I see in front of me, that's not who you are. And your soul is just your mind, will, and emotions, right? But who you are is spirit. You're a spirit being. You're a mankind, which is a spirit being, and you've always existed within him. And then he sends us down,
Yeah.
you know? And we go back to him.
So you mentioned family, and I know you have one.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about your family.
Woo! My wife. Oh!
Calm down.
Best thing that ever happened to me.
Sounds like it.
Best thing that ever happened to me. She has taught me what actual intimacy and love is, and respect, and cherishing, and cherishing a woman, and like valuing. She's taught me, and she's still teaching me how she personally wants to be loved and cherished and been made safe, to feel safe and secure, right? Like, she sent me a text message today. She was like, I love you so much, honey. Thank you for everything that you've been doing. I made a couple decisions this week that really made her feel even more safe and secure. I decided to not do day shift anymore, to do a night shift. I was offered a night shift, which is like $5 more, but like from 35 to $40 an hour. It's better,
Yeah.
and plus maybe overtime time and a half because I'm in the union. Double time on Sundays if it ever would have happened. And like, knowing me, like, I got this favor on my life because I believe that I have a favor, right? So I believe that I have this favor That doesn't come from anything that I've ever done. It comes from what's already been done for me. And I just believe it, that I have it. And it manifests, dude. And it's pure and it's good. And I'm blessed. I don't want to freak anybody out, but I lived with some gypsies down in Florida at one point in my life. And I got into some black magic, some Santeria, and like some real crazy stuff. And that stuff's real. Demons and all that stuff's real, man. Like people say like, no, they're not, you never experienced it, but it's just like, all right, it's real. The spirit realm is real. Things are real. Witchcraft is real. Whether it's like white, black, what doesn't matter. Like black does. Witchcraft is real, man. All that stuff is real. You know, you've just been sensitized, monetized, or numbed, or whatever, or indoctrinized to believe in Hollywood and all this other stuff. But like, dude, it's real. And God's real.
I'm gonna sleep with one eye open tonight.
You don't have to. You don't have to, man, because you're free.
Yeah.
And there's a covering over you. And you're blessed. Yeah.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's right. There's a covering. Yeah. You are protected. He is protecting you. You're good, dude. You're gonna sleep so good. Do you still need the surgery for your...
No, I don't need it. Oh, you'll be interested to know.
What happened?
I was half a centimeter away from needing surgery. The break was half a centimeter away.
Uh-huh.
No surgery.
Right.
Surgery.
Right. Right. Now, can you imagine if you had the whole church praying for you and not just me?
I wouldn't have broke my foot.
He's good, man.
Yeah, so I broke my foot last weekend.
Like that close, right? He's so good.
And it's not even a cool story.
Oh, but it is.
Well,
it is. It's from glory to glory.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how big, no matter how small, you know what I mean? The praises go up, blessings come down, man. It's everything's yes and amen. It's so good. Whoo! It's freedom. It's real. So, yeah. I don't know where I was going with the other segue, because, like, after I heard that, like, you're not getting the surgery, I'm like, I'm so glad. Like, this is awesome. Like, yay.
So tell me about, you have 2 kids?
Yes. Okay, so I have Layla and I have Liliana. And Layla's name is Buggy. She's the older sister. And then Liliana's nickname is Beanie. And Layla calls Beanie Beaniana because she can't say Liliana, right? And Buggy doesn't talk very word all the time. She says up, no, like, you know, like baby, like
she's making sounds.
She says words here and there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like she says no, she says up, you know, she'll say down, like real elongated, because you know the shows that she watches on TV, like Bluey, you know, they're like, oh no, and like she's like, oh man, I call her my little baby genius because she started walking at like 10 months and she's saying words, and she's like just turned 1. She's like saying words here and there, right? Layla is like so artistic for a 2-year-old. Like she wants to paint. She wants to go swimming. She like, there's like so much about her that's like, I see the artist in her, like her creativity on like the way that she likes to color, how she likes to color, the way that she eats her food, right? Like ever from like very small age, when she stopped throwing her food on the ground, she would like eat it, and she'd have like her own little discard pile, right? Because you know the tray has like the 2 holes for the drinking cup right here, and then like the big one. So we put her a plate, and then she'd have like I'm gonna keep this for later, and this is my discard pile, and like that pile would always be there. And like she'd take her time with like the good stuff over here, and then she'd tear up whatever was in the middle. So it's just like she's like, you know, separates things like where she wants them to be, and she's like, you know what I mean? And it's like she's aware. She's aware. I hate to say it. Me and my wife, I'm not perfect. My marriage isn't perfect.
No,
we're going through some stuff right now. You know what I mean?
We all do.
Well, you know, we're gonna work it out in love and patiently and very as kind and loving as we can work things out. And so me and my wife will be in the kitchen and we'll just like not be getting along, right? And my daughter will come out and she'd be like, "Stop it. Mommy, stop it. Daddy, stop it." Right? Or like, "No, no, 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 no." And I'm just like, she's 2 years old and she's telling us, "No, stop it."
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
It's your little therapist.
like, she wins
Yeah.
because we stop.
Yeah.
She wins. We have to. We have got to stop. Like, how does she understand love, peace, and compassion better than us? And we're supposed to understand this way better. Like, we're adults, we're grown-ups, and like, why can't we have this conversation with understanding, even if we don't agree upon it? Let's just understand that we're doing this together, right? We're gonna face this problem holding hands together, like in love.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it's not always like that, right? And like most of the times it does become that, right? When we both are like, all right, I'm sorry, right? And I'm very lucky because my wife hates to say that she's sorry or that she apologizes, but she does. Never,
Yeah,
I've never really been in a relationship where, that happened before.
You got to swallow your pride to
You know?
apologize. Yeah.
I'm doing more apologizing, by the way, because I am the leader. I'm the man. I'm like leading all of us,
Yeah.
and I am dying to myself to make sure that my wife has all of her needs and everything that she wants, and to make sure she's safe and secure. But I have to swallow my pride, right?
Yeah.
And I have to become the shepherd, the leader, the father of the house that I should be. And it's been tough. Like, these past couple of weeks have been cool. But before, like, there was like a 3-month span where it was really tough. And it was me. It was me.
You were the problem.
It was me, man. I didn't even see it. I couldn't admit it that it was me either. Like, I can admit it now. But
Okay.
I don't know. I was blind to my own selfishness,
Yeah. We've all been there, man.
you know?
We're going to arm wrestle.
All right, let's go.
You're just like, bring it.
You ready?
You're ready to face.
Ready? Yeah, get like this real quick. Put it on this side. I can have a little bit more leverage. Been preparing actually. Do a little twist.
Oh, you're going to do the hook and the twist and the pull and the shoulder drop and the...
I might kick your bad foot, okay?
What the... That's funny.
All right, you ready? You ready to go?
Okay, listen. I'm going to ask you a question as we're doing this.
Okay.
And I want you to answer the question into that camera.
This one. Okay.
Okay? You start when you're ready.
All right.
Go ahead.
Hold on. You ready?
I'm ready.
Go.
Moises,
Yeah.
if there's an active addict watching this right now that doesn't know how to heal themselves, what would you say to them?
I love you, man. It's okay. It's all right. I don't have to know you to love you, because love is a choice. And I don't have to say that I've been there, because that's not why I love you. and I care about you. If you're watching this, reach out. There's plenty of ways. You can get my phone number. I'm an open book. There's help. I will help. I know people that will help. And that's my purpose in life, is to be of service and to help people. And if you're not ready right now, that's okay too, you know. But if you are, reach out, you know. Reach out tonight. You can reach out tomorrow. You can reach out whenever you are ready. If you feel like you're not ready, but you want to reach out then. Reach out. Even if you're not ready and you know you're not going to get clean, and that's fine too. Still reach out. Cuz like, it doesn't matter to me whether you're clean or you're not clean. I just want to help. I just want to do this thing called life with you. And there's people that are just like me that just want to do this thing called life, you know, and be your brother, your sister, you know, in this world, and like to shine a light in the dark areas, you know what I mean? And maybe not even just that, maybe just like listen, you know. I know that we need a lot, but sometimes it's the little things that like make the biggest impact. And I truly believe that if you're watching this was the moment or the thing, and I'm the guy.
And yeah, Moises, I'm going to be tagging your social media accounts underneath this episode. So if you need help, like he said,
Yep.
he's your guy.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Before we close out, is there anything you want to ask me or anything else that you just need to get off your chest?
I do want to thank my wife, and I want to honor my parents real quick. And I also want to honor you and your family. So I'm gonna look into that camera or which one should I look at? The red light? No, this one? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, honey, I love you so much. I'm the luckiest man on the planet to have you as my wife, my Jamie babe. And I can't wait to see what God has for us, and just growing this family and just becoming each other's better half, and just like doing this thing called life with you. I'm so excited for the years to come, honey. Thank you so much. I love you. Mommy, Papi, I love you. I honor you. Tony, I love you and I honor you and I respect you. Call me whenever. I love you guys. I want to thank, of course, my pastors actually at my church. I want to honor them. My church in Grace Life, and my pastors above me, which would be Pastor Matt, Pastor Buck, Nick, Joey, Touchstone, Josh. Who else? Pastor Amy. Did I say Pastor Nick already? I think I might have already said Pastor Nick. But I want to honor you guys and say thank you for truly showing me and giving me more clarity, understanding on what a relationship is with, and help stewarding me and my family and my wife, and just like discipling us and spending time with us, and like and doing life with us. Like, you know, I've never seen anything like it. except for in God's word. And I just want to honor you guys and thank you for that. I also want to thank Zach, because this wouldn't have been possible. This wouldn't, like the spider web gets crazier.
Yep.
You know, like Zach and his wife Ashley and their beautiful marriage and family and all the beautiful things that they do, you know, in their lives and ministry, and just like, man, explosiveness. Shout out to Jack, bro. I can't wait for you to drop an album. Come on, let's go, man. Write it, put it out. Come on now.
What you waiting for, Jack?
Come on.
He said
Let's
he was going
go.
to write a song and dedicate it to me.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it. I know there's gonna be a little talk about bourbon. Wanna have a beer?
That's Jack's style.
I love it. But yeah. And also, I'm probably gonna show this to my kids when they get older. So, Layla, I love you so much. Liliana, my little genius, I love you so much. Layla's my artist. Liliana's my genius. And I'm going to speak my son into existence right now. And I'm going to say, Ben, I love you. And you're not even in your mom yet, or in this world, but you're in my heart and you're coming. You're coming. I know you are. I can feel it in my spirit. Like, whoo.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yes. So, you know, if you ever see my Facebook or one of my social medias and stuff like that, like, you'll see God's miracle, because I'm going to have a boy.
You heard it here first.
And I'm speaking it. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Let's go.
That's good. That's good. Well, Moises, I appreciate you coming. This story was something I never, ever could have imagined. I don't choose my guests based upon dramatic effect or knowing, you know, all of these bits and pieces that's going to be good TV. I knew nothing about you. Coming into this, I just knew that I wanted to give you the platform to talk about your story.
This is radical, by the way, like in a good way.
Yeah.
Just like real people, real stuff, real message, real hope, real enlightenment, like real, raw, good, fun, love, like sad, like it's real. And it's not like reality TV, right? I'm a real person.
Yeah, people are going to see you at the grocery store. And
They
be like,
are.
Hey, I saw your story.
Yeah.
That reminds me of my cousin Dawn, who's dealing with like...
Right. Let me pray for him real quick.
Right.
Let me pray for Don real quick.
Right.
Let's go.
But that's the beauty of this. The connections that come out of this show are insane.
Yeah.
And I got something I'm going to tell you and tell all of you. Something coming on this show.
Let's go.
We're taking Barbells and Bourbon to the streets of Pittsburgh. I'm going to interview the homeless.
Let's go.
Yeah. Not like exclusively,
Yeah.
but every once in a while,
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down with someone who's not living their best life and let them tell their story. Let them be heard. And hopefully by them telling their story, they can be helped through the viewer, through someone finding them a job, finding them a home, finding them food, recognizing them when they walk past them. Oh, I saw you on Barbells and Bourbon podcast.
Yeah, you're reconnecting people.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Right. So Barbells and Bourbons go into the streets.
Let's go.
In the next couple months, I got to let this foot heal up in case I got to run from something because I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
You're not going to have to run from anybody.
That's right. Because I'm protected.
You are protected. There is a hedge of protection around you in Jesus' mighty name.
Love you, brother. I think you got a haircut waiting for you downstairs.
Maybe.
Let's see what happens.
We'll see. I would
Full
love
service.
one. I would love one.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Your wife cut hair really good?
Yeah.
Let's go.
She's got her cosmetology license. She
Let's
works
go.
at the best salon east of the Mississippi, Vibe Beauty and Brow Bar, Murraysville, PA.
Well, I'm gonna send my wife over here now. So you got 2 clients. I have long hair, so does
Let's
my
go.
wife, and I have 2 daughters. So
Let's go.
it but take off. Like good people, good clientele. Like that's how life. Woo! We're all helping each other out. We're all building each up on our most holy faith. Let's go. Let's be family. Let's do this thing together, and let's just prosper, man. Because that's the only way. Actually, from here on out, is up. No matter what is actually happening. You know, this podcast is taking off. I already told you this thing is bigger than you could have ever thought or have imagined it, and it's gonna skyrocket. Like, it's amazing.
I'm hanging on tight. I'm waiting.
Just
I'm ready
believe.
for the ride. Oh yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Believe it, speak it, say it, see it. Vision. A man with no vision has nothing. And this is the vision, and you're living it, and it's happening, and it's being formed, and it's manifesting, and it's good.
So good.
So good.
Please like this video. Please subscribe. Watch one of these episodes because they're all amazing. And I will see you on the next episode of Barbells and Bourbon. Peace.
Dude.
Yeah, bro.